Hello boys and girls, welcome back to Gary Grigsby's War in the East 2. Ooh, and you can't see the entire screen here. Alright, anyways, this is turn 7 of my campaign versus Warmus. And let me go through what happened. We have 45,000 losses, 1,000 guns, 400 tanks and 463 planes. That's a lot of planes and a lot of tanks. But we're still receiving a lot of reinforcements from the reserve theater box. And actually I see the Germans are losing tanks, the negative, but they're gaining planes. So we'll go first over what happened during the turn, and then if you want to skip ahead or skip in the end, I'll show you the force composition in more detail. My plan at Tallinn was to tie up more divisions than I was garrisoning with, and now it seems he's sieging me with one division, and I'm using 2 to defend. I actually exchanged for a better commander, sent another army headquarters, and we got a lot of sappers this turn as a reinforcement, so now I can fortify Tallinn a bit, if I'm not gonna abandon them. Then, of course, the Germans made their main assault in north, and they pushed straight into the marshes south of Novogorod with their tanks. And as you can see, there are a couple of held results, because there are 2 here. So, well, nothing remarkable really, but I'm very happy with, of course, I'm very happy with every held. That's probably why we see a couple of German tanks lost this turn. And I had to pull back and even out my line. I didn't fall back that far and actually pushed into and reconquered the hex and have some heavy defenses around the Panzer spearheads. And then you have, oh, I got rid of my tank division here this turn. I sent it to the reserves. And then I see infantry slowly moving up here. And since my left flank of my main line is hanging open in the air, usually I don't care so much about defending the Narva river line, but this turn I sent out a couple of naval infantry brigades to defend its line, because I don't want to get zapped or outflanked by maybe he has like a fast brigade or something here. I had to pull down forces from the fortification line, construction project here, and start building up a third line. Oh yeah, I was really lucky. I had a leader replacement on a very bad leader in the 8th Army and got a very good 5.2 average leader here. 6 infantry and 7 morale. So I use it as the bright red to cover the center now. And then we have the light red. It's Vasilevsky. No, sorry, it's Vatutin. And he's probably one of the best leaders in the Soviet army, and he's defending the front line here. And since he can command mobile forces as well, he has 1 motorized rifle brigade. Oh, I guess I gave the motorized rifle division to whatever, but anyways, we get a really good leader here in the front. He didn't go for the area of the 33rd Army, so I'm kind of in a strong position here this turn. He didn't do any attacks in the center at all. He didn't go for Smolensk. He left it, but he he made a push towards east of Bryansk, and he outflanked me. I was very weak in this area, but we didn't get that far. And as you can see, I tried to counterattack with cavalry from the east and some infantry from the northwest, but let's check this result. We failed. The defenders held. He had a defensive value of 5.6, I believe. So he was a bit too strong, but I thought I thought that was worth it, because it would have been excellent to isolate all these spearhead panzers. And now I pulled together a decent force here. I moved over the 4th Army under Purkayev, so I can use a couple of mobile forces, tank and mech formations. I left the Black Army here under Bobkin around Smolensk. I thought about using my very strong tank divisions here and hit this rifle brigade regiment, infantry division regiment from the 161st Infantry Division, but he had the defense value of 5.7, so I decided against it. Nothing else too exciting here. It's a bit mixed up with me having to push to the east now because I'm being outflanked by these panzers. And I was a bit surprised to see him not hit anything all the way from Veliki Luki to Smolensk and west of Bryansk. But it seems his push came between Orel and Bryansk here. And as you can see, I'm very weak here in this area. I'm kind of building up a little bit of a defense in depth up here, but we'll see what he'll do. If we check the fuel situation, these formations have yellow and green fuel, which is worrisome because that, you know, I'd rather see them orange or even red, but they're not. So we'll see what he can do there. I really don't have much of a choice. I fell back some. I counterattacked, and I have kind of a skirmish line. I hope he doesn't create a large pocket. That's the best I can offer. Then we have a new 16th Army under Central Front. The Bryansk and Orel military districts were disbanded this turn, so that always creates a little bit of a chaos. So as you can see, all the way from Orel down to Kursk and Belgorod, we now have the Central Front, and that's a very long distance, and I'm only having 340,600 tanks to defend this entire stretch. So obviously this area we can see here is weakly held. It's a thin skirmish line. Next, in west of Belgorod, he made another push, and I had a thin, bad skirmish line of motorized and mechanized troops falling back from Chernigov, so it wasn't much of a defense. I actually had one held on my one strong division here, but I used my Sumy garrison to spread out, and I kind of created a thin line with a secondary defensive refitting troops. But don't get fooled. This is a weak line. My main purchase for this turn was a new tank commander. His name is Krivoshain. He probably had the command of a corps that was disbanded, so I put him back on the map. He's only 4.4, but he has a 6 value for mech and a decent 5 morale. So he's got 4 initiatives, so he's not that good with reserve activations. And I'm starting to dig some fortifications with my green rookie 32nd Army under a very bad commander. I'm hoping to maybe even build forts in these 4 provinces here to make a line along with Kharkov. And then the worst part of the entire turn was the Poltava sector. If you see all these combats here, they are weak tank divisions, and they cost me 64, 22, and it just goes on 38 tanks. That's why you saw me lose 82 tanks. Here's where I lost my 500 tanks. Earlier in this campaign, I made a counterattack east of Kiev, around Kiev here, and then I've been on high fatigue, falling back. I even railed 1 or 2 mech divisions back here, but I never really got back my tank formations in shape, so that counterattack, that was probably a mistake. Oh, and also he cleaned up the entire security regiment front line here from Kiev down to Kremenchuk. And he crossed the river I guess he was trying to make a double envelopment, but I had such defense in depth that he didn't reach it or something. Because you can see the fuel here. We have green fuel, yellow, yellow, and one orange. So why didn't he go further with these guys? Here we can see fuel orange, even red. And now on my turn, I sent up 3 tank divisions with 660 tanks and pushed him out of the position 3-1 fairly handily. Very happy about that. I got air support. How bad is it to be isolated for a turn? I don't know. I'm not experienced enough with the Germans, but I suppose he doesn't get any reinforcement of supplies, of freight, of ammunition and fuel. So my hope is that this northern Panzer Corps with these isolated guys is gonna slow down a little bit after the push here first and now being isolated. But I am of course scared of the southern Panzer Corps down here, so I pulled that out from the beginning semi-pocket here, and I couldn't really run further than this. This is how far back. I wasn't willing to give up Poltava, so I'm just gonna leave one guy there. Can he create pockets now this turn? I don't know, maybe. I can't run forever. I can't run further. This is as far as I could. And in the south, he did no attacks. He just set up, and I scouted. That's why I can see so well what he's got there. And I was a little bit surprised to see how many forces he's got there already, ready to cross the river line. He failed doing it. He came over with the Slovakian motorized brigade and something else, like a Romanian cavalry brigade, and put them here. So I sent 3 tank divisions and 340 tanks on him. Lost 50, but I pushed him back. My first route, I believe, Romanian cavalry brigade, and then I pulled out of Nikolaev. And when it comes to air combat, there's a hell of a lot of action around Odessa. So when I use my I-16s Type 24 and I fight the Hungarian Air Command, I can actually inflict more losses than I lose myself. So I'm very happy about that. Not going to show you all this, but this is the main reason now this term why I'm losing 500 airplanes in a week. That's a lot. So I guess I fell back to the Chernigov. What's his name? To Kherson line now. But I suspect what will happen is he's gonna cross the river up here in the north and outflank me, and I'll just have to abandon this river line and fall back into the entrance to the Kerch Peninsula fortresses here that I'm building. I'm railing out 2 tank divisions as well from the south. First, because I don't have I have no tank commander. All these army headquarters are really bad at commanding mechanized forces, so I'm trying to get them out. Also, I don't feel them being that useful in defense of static positions here. And as you can see here, my secondary reinforcement line here with, I think, 8 tank divisions. It's just going to stand there as a third or secondary line and gain some CPPs. I had 2 routed divisions that ran on into Stalino here. I think that's about it. For next turn, I am reinforcing with a lot of infantry divisions along the river line here, southeast of Kharkov. I wonder if that's the right choice, where to deploy them, but I guess seeing all these tanks, Panzers here, I need something else here to fall back on. I mean, I want to fight for Kharkov and Stalino, so they don't reach Rostov too easily. We're only on 10-7, and it's already here. Scary. Anyways, I guess that's it on the map. My air force is getting a little bit thin. So, let's see. Now on the map, we have almost 3.5 million men. I guess that's good in August. We surpassed Germany with artillery. All the Stalino line tank divisions. Took us to almost 9,000 tanks on the map from 7. So that's good. But the aircraft is going down from 5 to below 4,000. And I think I'm losing 500 from this number here. What else? Manpower pool. I gained a little bit in my manpower pool because I lowered the maximum amount of troops in my infantry division. So I'm trying to save up more so I don't just gain and just use what I immediately gain every turn. I'd like a small buffer. Oh, look, they have over 500,000. And anything else? I mean, order battle, they're almost at 8 million and I'm 5.5. Unfair, but that's the way it is. So Leningrad is in great shape. They're overstacked and we actually have a Stavka army here fortifying behind the line. And another small Stavka army. So we definitely are strong in the Leningrad sector. Did I? Oh yeah, I built one more fort up here as well this turn. And another fort down at Stalino. I'll show you where. Here we go. Here we have a fort, 17 fortified region. So I can make this like a large cauldron of defense here. Southern front is fully stacked. There's some cavalry here, but it's fairly strong. Southwestern front, yeah, it has 75 points, but 440,000. We have almost 3,000 tanks down here, and that's some of them aren't even in the southwestern front. So I guess the main concern maybe isn't the numbers, but that there's so much fatigue and fatigue and low CPP, combat preparation here. So we're kind of out of balance, even though we're not that weak. But as I said earlier, the central front, with its 340,000, with very little tanks, and they're in bad shape, it's not a strong position. The western front is strong with 2,500 tanks and over. I mean, it's a very large front. And now I had to use my reserve front here. And I have 1, 2. Well, actually, this army here, the 38, this sector, smack in the middle of the line, is in the reserve front now. So we actually have like a small reserve army and one in the line stacked in here with 250,000 troops. Actually, 800 tanks. These are all refitting in bad shape. So I guess that's it. My plans for the future. Yeah, dig in, retreat, fall back, gain more reinforcements. I have trouble, like the air status, air 87%. If you check, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden we're down to 50% air garrisons in Transcaucasus. I probably pulled out too many planes or something. I mean, obviously I did 60% in the Far East. I didn't know how quickly the numbers were gonna swing. Main concern would be the Poltava sector to get encircled because I'm in bad shape here. Also, I guess Bryansk, since I didn't cut him off here. Is he gonna create a pocket or breakthrough? My guess would be that he'll use the clear terrain, and he seems intent on pushing and grabbing territory. So maybe push to the northeast here. We'll see what he does. You know, or he'll pin me inside and create a pocket inside Bryansk. I don't know. I feel fairly confident around Novogorod, to be honest, because of the terrain. Is there another Panzer group or Panzer corps somewhere that I didn't see? He attacked with all his Panzers. I don't think so, I've seen one. This could be a motorist brigade. It doesn't need to be a division. So it kind of showed his hand. I was a little bit surprised where he struck with his panzers, but now we know the southern panzer group is here. I guess one of this... is this a full panzer group? There's two in the center. This seems like a corps and another corps. So there could be another... So let's say this is one panzer group with two panzer corps. Where is the other center panzer corps? I don't know. And then we have the northern one. So maybe there's one panzer formation that we haven't seen yet. I hope not. I counted that and I only got to like 20 divisions. I think there should be more motorized and panzer divisions on the map somewhere. So yeah, we'll see where he strikes with those. All right. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to... You can't make a multiplayer save and save these games so I can check it out later, but I'm taking a couple of screenshots and adding comments to them that I'll use on the Matrix Games forums for the AAR after action report that I'm gonna do with this campaign. Having fun, hope you liked it. See you in the next one. Bye bye.